Okay, so the emotion card coming in from you guys is spread your wings, which is a beautiful energy in contrast to the attachment that you're being held back, that you're being held down. So it's time to really spread your wings, go on that journey, be light and love, feel the passion again. This is a little girl, she's dressed in all different weird pinks and blues and greens, and she's going down this beautiful bridge of light, going to source, following her dreams, following her journey. And their emotion card is coming in with release. So, I feel that they had worked on themselves a lot in order to get their ego the way they're supposed to be. They've released a lot of energies, and they're feeling lighter, they're feeling brighter, they're connected to source, they're on their true path, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, they're feeling that abundance, they're feeling that power. You're not seeing the things from what they truly are. You're not seeing all your abundance. It's like you're seeing how it didn't work. You're seeing how this didn't pan out. You're seeing that this wasn't truthful and that should have worked out this way. We need to flip the switch. We need to spread our wings. We need to open ourselves up to better energy so that you can turn that around. You worked hard. You're just not seeing it pan out, and you're getting very disappointed, and you invested a lot of time and energy in this relationship or in this situation, and you don't see where your abundance is. And their energy, they released it, they moved on, they're rising higher, everything's looking good, they're dressing well, they're eating well, and over here, you're stressed out. And you want to feel that energy, you want to feel that release, you want to spread your wings, but everything that you have done in the past up until this point has been an anchor to where you really need to go. That talks about the fear of the unknown, lack of planning, really stressing over not seeing where the new beginning is. I feel that for some of you, the energy you're dealing with right now walked away from something huge, like their job or something that they released. They were like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm out. They lost their passion for this, Ace of Wands in reverse. Now they're trying to manifest something new right out of the bucket. They're just pulling something out of the bucket, and they're all excited about this new thing, Knight of Swords, and they're like all over the place. So they were shining very bright there for a long time. And I feel that this person in your life has walked away from the stability, has walked away from the income, has walked away from the financial balance that they had created. They're releasing all the stuff that they didn't want to do anymore. It's like all of a sudden they became enlightened and decided they're going to go, sell crystals on the beach every single day instead of going going to the factory or going into the office and whatever their 9 to 5 used to be that was making good money and put a roof over you guys' head and food on the table and everything else. And now you feel that you have to pull all that, and it's not fair. It's like you guys had a balance, you had a plan, you had a path together. And they just kind of flip the switch on you anymore. And no, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to manifest something else. I'm going to pull something out of my hat and be like, okay, this is what we're doing today. And they had a really good job. They had a very good security. And that's where you're like freaking out because you're like, what the hell happened? And now you are like the Fool card in reverse, and you're taking any risk that you possibly can so you can rebuild the balance so that everything is even killed the way it should be again. And you're taking on all the burdens so that this can happen. And you want to spread your wings as well. You don't want to be attached to this. It's like they're spreading their wings and they're kind of like leaving you with all the responsibilities. It's like they just kind of lose their vision and they lose their mind, kind of. I'm not saying going with spirits, losing your mind. Well, sometimes it feels that way, but you get inspired about something else, but we have to think about paying the bills and everything else that we've created to make sure that we don't throw everything upside down as well. We can't go half-cocked on an idea that we think of at 2 o'clock in the morning without really planning it out and making sure that things are going to be taken care of. We all have spouses and mortgages and kids and, car payments, and we have to make sure that we do our jobs spiritually as well as pay the bills earthly and physically, and I feel like you got dumped with all that responsibility. Yes, sacral chakra. Okay, so it comes up again. and it came up in reverse, but I always read these cards in the upright. But this is telling me that this is hitting you and your ego as well, and your identity, and you have to take a couple steps backwards financially because of their decisions. You know, and that's where the Seven of Coins in the reverse is coming in, is that you are like, there's nothing left. It's like you have to build from zero and build it back up again. So because you go from the Seven of Coins in reverse to the Queen of Coins in the upright. And that's telling me that all these risks and looking back on all the things that you've had to do, it weighed heavily on you as you went through this. Now, I believe that the Justice card in the upright is also telling me that the justice will be restored. You will make it through this. But you're going to be making it through kind of like on your own. You're going to be the one that's in control. You're the one that's going to be able to make the decisions because you hold the pocketbook now. You hold the checkbook in your hand. You're the one that has the ability to say yes or no, where previously that energy was the one that said yes or no. Okay, they're the ones that had the checkbook and had the control over the finances and what was said and what was done and what was purchased. But because they went on this other aspect and they let you figure it out on your own, and you became very strong and very knowledgeable and very dependent on yourself only, which of course is independence. But you know, you're only depending on yourself to get you to point A to point B. You're not depending on anyone else. You're able to spread your wings, which is what you wanted all along when this got dumped on you. Yes, see here we have prosperity begins, new beginnings, and triumphant. Yes, you do this on your own. So when they throw this at you and they dump all these responsibilities because they decided they're going to do something else that is not going to be able to help you the way they were in the past, you're able to do this on your own. Yeah, here we go with movement, choices, and decisions. That's exactly what they did. They moved forward. They made their decisions. You know, it was about them and their journey. Yeah, a cycle. Them and their journey. The universe was calling to them. Travel was calling to them. New beginnings was calling to them. New inspiration and something completely different was calling to them. Conflict and defeat. It is way harder than they thought it was going to be. To follow spirit, to follow this path, to follow this new idea. Okay? And I believe that they do get knocked down a notch. And they get brought back down to reality that they need to have a balance within all this. They just can't go 100 miles an hour in this one avenue and not have a backup plan financially for their stability. You know, I'm just getting the energy that they just get fed up one day and they just walk off the job and they come up with this scheme on the way home that this is how they're going to make money now. And you're like, are you serious? And then you have to do double time. You have to take on more hours. You have to get another job. You have to really pinch your pennies. And in the process of doing that, you gain control, which actually is beneficial to you because now you get to be the one that says who does what to where. You know, they're going to come back defeated. They're going to come back penniless, broken, and be like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. And you're going to be like, yeah, no kidding. Really? I could have told you that when you walked off the job, 2 months ago. You know, that's not how you do things. And this is where you write the power, okay? Because you come in and you save the day. So that means that you get the power in your control, or they had the power in their control in the past. So you saving the day really makes a big difference because then they have to come back to you and, penniless, Okay, so offerings are coming to you, and you're also giving offerings to other people. I believe that you will get an offer, though, that is going to help make a new beginning for yourself, very financially stable for yourself. There's a new offer coming in that will be very successful for you. Yes, karma. Karma is coming to pay you back, okay? This is another cycles card. This is where you will be able to be rewarded for all the things that you have done, and that's why you are successful and triumphant when this comes to pass. The Chariot in reverse for them, guys. Yeah, it doesn't go anywhere. It stops, if they're not moving forward. They make this decision. It's very rash. It's very important that they realize how much they're risking, and I don't think that they do at the time that they do it. Yeah, Magician in reverse. No, they're not going to be able to manifest what they think they can on their own when they make this rash decision. And then you get all the power back. You get the control because you're the one who's thinking clearly. You're the one who has a vision. You're the one who's like, screw this. I can't sit here with nothing. I have to get out of this financial situation. I have to get, make this a better energy coming in. I have to, switch it And then as you take control of what's going on, that's when you make the new things happen. That's where you get that stability and you get that control and you get the fire in your belly and you take back the balance in this relationship. Oh, check this out, Aries. You're coming in with Find Your Center. And it reads, your outside world is a reflection and a manifestation of what's going on inside you at this time. When the outside world becomes so hectic and stressful that your anxiety starts to overwhelm you, then this is an ideal moment to stop and ask, when was the last time I checked in with myself? Definitely find your center when you're going through the month. Be very, very balanced. Check in with yourself all the time. Find out, is this me reacting emotionally to the situation or me reacting logically to the situation? And find that balance within yourself so you can make the right decisions to get out of this mess that they hand you, okay? Be very kind to yourself at this time. Patient. If you feel overwhelmed, go for a walk, do yoga, meditation, whatever it is that fulfills you to get the chatter out of your head so that you can find that path that's going to get you out of this attachment energy so you can spread your wings. It's out there. It's going to reveal itself to you in the month of October. So please keep hold. And when this information comes into you, don't panic. You've got this. Okay. So, this is just a message saying that this is going to be coming up. You will be able to handle this, but don't let it overwhelm you because this is kind of huge. Their energy, check it out. Have fun. Now, why am I not surprised? They lose their cool and they walk away from something that was very stable because they felt overwhelmed and they're not having fun anymore. They don't have the passion. So their their spirit message reads, have fun. And it says, stop. When was the last time you had fun? When was the last time you took a chance and did something silly? Something totally unlike you? Something just for the joy of it? It's long overdue for you to let go of your analytical mind and give yourself and your soul permission to have fun. So know that this energy that you're dealing with for the month of October, this is what their end game is. They're trying to find the joy within themselves again. They're trying to find the fun in life. They're trying to re-establish some kind of connection that is not negative and heavy. And when they lose their cookies and they walk away from whatever this stability is, whether this is your kid and they walk away from school, your spouse that quits a good job, however it is that resonates, they're overwhelmed. They've kind of lost their mind there for a second, and they do something rash that is going to kind of upset things for a while. But this puts the energy and the control back in your lap, which is where you need to have it at this time. Movement. Yes, guys. You guys will be moving forward. You'll be very strong. You'll be very much in control. You know where you're going. You're going to have a path. You're going to have a plan. You're going to really take risks, some unnecessary risks, because you're going to panic and you're going to have to kind of go out there and take whatever you can get right off the bat to get the balance reestablished. But you get new offers, okay, to move forward. So whatever you have to take right off the bat, and I keep going back to like a physical job or something where you have to take a second job, you'll take whatever you can get and then you'll move on from there. Okay. I'm reading this card a couple different ways. I'm initially getting the fact that they're being loyal to themselves and they're being loyal to their spirit journey. They're being loyal to their guides, in their inner child that is screaming to get out. And I think that's where their focus is right now. And that is what they're loyal to. Not so much the job or the security or anything that doesn't mean anything to them at this moment. They're going to snap out of it again when they figure out it's not going to work the way that they think it's going to work. And they're going to, push themselves back. There's no doubt about it. But it's something that they need to do. For whatever reason, to get their creativity back, to get their passion back, to get their zest back, whatever it is, they need to go through this energy right now, and you are forced to pick up the slack where they left off. In Aries, you're coming in with Archangel Gabriel, and it reads, you have an important life purpose involving communication in the arts. Please don't allow insecurities to hold you back. I will help you. Wow. This is telling me that you'll be doing something out of the box when you take this risk, okay? Like if you were a singer back in high school or something, and you gave up singing, you used to do it, on the weekends with the band or whatever like that. This forces you to pick your gift back up and get paid for it, Okay, doing something out of the box, part-time, at home, whatever it is, in order to get the money back in order to get the stability in, whatever this attachment is. In order for you to spread your wings, you're going to do something that's going to be totally out of the box, but it's going to be more secure. Okay, not fly off the handle and do something that you're going to regret in a month. This is going to be another secure thing, and then that's how you are able to kind of regain your balance with the Queen of Cups. Their angel message is Opal, and it reads, your children on earth and in heaven are happy and well and cared for by God and the angels. Beautiful card, beautiful card. Like I said, this may have something to do with a child, a teenager, a young adult that does something uncharacteristic for them at this time. It's like they work so hard to get to college and all of a sudden they just lose their cookies and come home. And you're like, what are you doing here? And they're like, no, I quit. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. This is not what I thought. And you're like, no. You have, a paid scholarship. Get back there and do what you got to do. I'm doing everything I can over here to support you over here. So you go do what it is that you've committed to and start taking care of business. I mean, I feel that, they feel stalled right now. They're taking a risk that they don't need to take because they don't feel the passion. So something happens where, like I said, they're loyal to themselves. They want to be fun, have fun. They want to go out there, but I feel like it's a young energy sometimes, or they're acting like a young energy. So, I mean, this could be your husband of being married, 30, 40 years, and he comes home and says, yeah, well, now I want to grow, peppers in the backyard as our income, and you think that he's lost his mind, and he starts acting as a young energy. He's trying to find the fun in things. She is trying to get that inspiration back. So please keep that in mind as you're going through this. I do feel that it's going to be kind of rough, but I also feel that you're going to pull it out of your hat with something just random that you used to do that gave you passion and enjoyment, and it's something you can do on the side to supplement the balance and supplement the income, supplement the security that they rock when they make this decision that's kind of out of the blue.